Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Today I will show you how you can easily create a native multisig smart account on ZKsync and initiate gasless transaction from this smart account with a Paymaster. A Paymaster built from Zyfi. Zyfi is a gas abstraction provider specialized on ZK Chain and ZKsync era. And with this Paymaster, they built an API key. So in this video, I will show you how you can easily call the API key from Zyfi and deposit some fund in a Vault contract to sponsor the gas for your users, and especially on a smart account. So it's exactly the purpose of this video to provide gasless transaction to a smart account and initiate transaction from this smart account and to transform them in a gasless way. So what we are doing in this tutorial video, we will use this tutorial created by ZKsync in their official community code. So it's a multi-sig smart account, and to explain you the process of this tutorial, firstly, you will just create a smart account with an EOA classically. And after, from this smart account, you will create a new smart account with two owners, two signers. And during this creation, you will initiate a gasless transaction to create this new smart account. And this transaction will be gasless thanks to Zyfi. And you will also be able to use this repo we have just created for this video, where we will integrate the API from Zyfi and sponsor the transaction. So as you can see here, so we have the transaction. We will define the different payload and get the answer from the API to sponsor the transaction. Before start, for the setup, you will need an EOA to initiate the first transaction to create the multisig smart account with a private key. We will do this tutorial on ZKsync testnet, so you will need to have some ETH in your MetaMask or Ruby account on testnet. So for me, I will use a dedicated wallet for this video with this private key. Of course, you need to don't leak your private key of your wallet when you are doing that. But in this case and in this video, I will use this private key. Of course, this wallet will not be used after this video. And also, you will need an API key here. So to have the API key from the sponsorship vault, you will need to firstly have the contract address and deposit some ETH in this contract address. So for example, here in the sponsorship vault, so on Sepolia testnet, so on ZKsync Sepolia testnet. And basically, when you will deposit some ETH in this vault, you will have the possibility to sponsor the gas for your users with this vault directly. So it's really straightforward. When you have deposited some ETH in the vault contract, you will just need to ask to the Zyfi team an API key, and you will be able to do this tutorial. And last thing, a quick add-on to the tutorial, you will need to install this library because to run the tutorial on ZKsync Sepolia, you will need this library. So to do so, we will start to start the project. So on my side, I have already done the setup. I have removed the file inside the contract folder and deploy folder. I also add the ZKsync and OpenZempli contract libraries, the ETH system through in the compiler. And I will start to add the different smart contract we will use in this video. So the first smart contract is about the multisig. So I will not just explain everything in the smart contract, but you will just need to copy paste, or you can easily also understand, try to understand the smart contract, or it is built especially on ZKsync, because I just a quick reminder that on ZKsync there are just smart accounts by default. So if you are initiate a transaction from an EOA, use a default account smart account, and you can yes, you can perform transaction with an EOA, but you will use at the end a smart account on the chain. It's natively done like that. So the first thing we need to do here is just to go on VS Code here, and I will just create the first contract. So here, perfect. I need to save it. The second contract we'll use is a factory contract to deploy the multisig. So in the same way, I will just copy paste the factory.sol contract here. So I'm just creating a new contract here. Perfect. I'm saving this contract to compile them after. And I will need to have two scripts. So the first script will be to deploy the factory. So it's the first script I will run to deploy the factory contract to be able after to deploy the first smart account. So I will just copy paste as well this script. So here I can go in the deploy folder here and just rename factory.sol, deploy factory.sol, perfect. I'm just saving this script as well. And I will also create a script for the multisig, of course, to deploy the multisig. So to be able to offer a gasless transaction, of course, you will need to use the Zyfi API. So for that, you will just need to copy paste this deploy multisig script. So, and in this script, there is the difference where we will offer the gasless transaction. So here we will define the different payload. So here we have the chain ID in the payload. The chain ID is the chain ID of the Sepolia testnet on ZKsync. We have also the field for the fee token address, but here we will just comment this fee token address parameter because we will sponsor 100% of the transaction. If you put like 50% here, you need to add a fee token address to pay the gas, to let the user pay the gas with. After we have also the parameter reply limit, it's an optional parameter, and we also have the text data. Here we have something which is really specialized on ZKsync because you can deploy a new smart account, a new multisig smart account here in the tutorial from a multisig address. On the other EVM chain, you need to deploy smart account, multisig smart account with EOA. So you have this from parameter here, and after we will just fetch the answer post request to the API. Here it's also an important field because you will need to put the API key provided by Zyfi to be able to pay the gas to the end users. And after you will just need to sign the transaction with both owners with EIP 712 with the transaction type 113. And after you will just need to broadcast the transaction just here. So to be able to do that, I will just copy the entire script and I will just copy paste the script here. I will save it as well. So here I have my script and I have some addresses here. So here it's the factory address we deploy on the script, but this will change in this deployment. Here it's the private key of my wallet. So here I will use this one. I think it's the same one, but just to be sure, I'm saved the script. And here I will also need the private key to deploy the factory contract. So this is the first step I need to do now. It's to deploy this factory contract. So to do so, I just need to follow the tutorial. So here I will just compile and deploy directly the factory contract. So here, perfect. So here I have a deploy factory test not found. Maybe because I didn't save the factory. Okay, I'm just trying to run this one. Factory. Okay. because the compile was successful, but the IR factory TS wasn't good. Maybe because the deploy script is not fast. Oh, okay. I know my issue here and here. Okay, so now it should be better. Okay, good. So now we have this AA factory address, so I can save it here. And also I can add this factory address just here in the deployment of the multisig. And the last thing, if you remember correctly, we have the API key here. So this API key, perfect. I'm just saving. And now I will be able to run the script to deploy the multisig and to do all the steps we have defined in the script. So just to explain a bit, so we will create firstly the two owners of the multisig. So this is the first multisig we will have in this tutorial. And after we will deploy the account owned by the owner 1 and 2. We will initially in the script, you need to send fund to this multisig to be able to deploy a new multisig with a transaction. But in this part, we have just commented this this function because we don't need to send fund to the multisig account because it will not pay any gas. It will be sponsored by the API directly. And here, so we will create and deploy a transaction. We'll deploy, yes, this transaction to deploy a new account using the multisig we just deployed. So in this transaction, she will be gaslessly because of the Paymaster. So here we have the payload I just described before. I have the API key. After I have this signature by the both owners, and finally I broadcast the transaction, and we can directly see when I will just deploy this script for the smart contract that this transaction will be fully gaslessly thanks to the Zyfi Paymaster. So here I'm just deploying the script, and here as I can see in the answer, so we have a custom signature and we have all information regarding the transaction. So here we have the transaction sent from the multisig we have created. So we have created the multisig. The first multisig was created here. And after we have just initiate a transaction from this multisig to deploy a new multisig. So it was a transaction to deploy this multisig. And this transaction hash, we can look at this transaction hash directly on the Explorer. And if I'm going there, I can see that someone pays the gas for me to deploy this new multisig. So here I can just go to the Zyfi docs, and here, as we can see this contract address, so OX and finally 3C81. It's the address of the sponsorship vault, and we can see that this sponsorship vault pay the deployment of the new multisig for me. So it's a success. So we just, to recap, deploy a new multisig, and from this multisig, we enjoy and initiate a gasless transaction thanks to Zyfi API from this smart account. I hope this video give you a great overview on what we can do with a smart account on ZKsync and with a Paymaster like Zyfi. And now you can enable your users who use smart accounts on your ZKsync D app or your ZK Chain app to enjoy gasless transaction. Thank you for your time, and I wish you a good day.